Says we're live. All right, so as usual, guys, this is our little bit of a lead time for ads for anybody who is watching after the fact, because they can watch an ad play, and then we kind of just jump into the show for the evening. So this is the Car Guy and Six Fan Show, 3rd annual awards show, or something that I look forward to every year or every season that we do. Obviously, it's only been the last 3, but we have a lot of fun with it, and it's something that we're going to be able to get a lot of laughs. We've invited all these guests back. They should be, most of them should be in the chat, and we're having fun. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Jason, the Car Guy of the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. My partner in crime right beside me over here is...
So I'm Grant Tommy. I'm straight Six Fan. That makes me Six Fan of this wonderful operation. And yeah, just Jason mentioned, this is a relatively new kind of thing we've done to now that we're 6 seasons in here on the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. I've been doing this 3 times, and we do have a lot of fun with this. It's kind of just meant to be like, you know, when you were in high school and you made those cheesy things in the yearbook as, you know, most likely to succeed and all those things. We just have a lot of fun with this. But before we get going and just dive right into the award show portion of this show, I did want to make mention of the fact of all of you who've been waiting in the chat before we went live. So we have Melissa and Nunya, Car Guys, so Coastal Auto Reaction, Everything's Broken Garage, NARXOLEPTIC Customs dropped in a super chat for us. We appreciate that. Uncle Bobo, Mr. Sedan Man, Will's Wheels, Bandit, the Uncle Bobo, I already mentioned his name. Get Out and Drive Podcast, Patina Pit Stop, repeat. But Monster Rust, GMC, Texas, or TX, Roy Marcos Garage, and anyone I missed that you can think of. Stuff with Cletus, Jay with the Build One More, Rob, our buddy Rob from Jegs, so happy to have him. Mongrel's Garage, REVSTORATION, NIKKI-T. Thanks, guys. Sorry, Gary Mathis. Man, the list goes on and on. Jason, I've been talking for way too long.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I mean, the list just keeps growing. I think we're showing, 26 in the chat there right now. So, guys, a couple things, housekeeping items before we get going. This is just the second to last Car Guy Six Fan Show for season 6. Next week over on Grant's channel, it is the season finale. So we're going to be taking a little bit of a break, coming back just after the new year. But it's a much-deserved break for both of us. It's a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of effort goes into putting these shows together, although it may seem like we don't put much effort into the show. Nevertheless, it takes some time from both of us. And we did get a couple more super chats in there. Really appreciate that. We got, let's see here. Luke, Coastal Auto Reaction, $27.99 Canadian. That's a cool $18 US. Thanks for doing the show. Thank you very much. David, REVSTORATION is in there with $10 American. Thank you guys so much. Like we've said right from the beginning of season 6, all the super chats are going to a little notepad. We're keeping track of that, and we're going to make sure that we find some way to thank you guys at the end of the season with that.
And Jason, before we get into it, I just want to make note. So next week we will be doing something just a shade bit different. So just trying to prepare everybody. And I guess, Melissa, if you could tell us the best way to get a hold of you, whether that's direct message on like Instagram or something, please leave that in the chat, because we'll want your assistance with this next week. We ask actually next week that you do not give us any super chats at all. And the reason being, we are going to be doing a little bit of a fundraiser, and there's a GoFundMe page for fellow YouTuber struggling with cancer. And so we want all of the proceeds. We want your generosity to go towards that next week. We really do appreciate your generosity, as Jason mentioned. But next week, we want to take a little different spin on that, and we really want to help a fellow YouTuber out. So anyway, sorry about that. Just wanted to drop that in, just kind of prepare the audience for that for next week.
Absolutely. On your way in, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Also, share this out. And for whatever reason, if you're not subscribed to me, now's the time to go down and click that red subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It just lets you know anytime I put out a new video or when we go live right here on the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over my screen, and I won't be able to see the chat. So Grant's going to be monitoring the chat while we get into the third annual Car Guy Six Fan Show awards show, and we're basically going to start kind of going down the list. We've got a slide that talks about what the award is, and then the next slide will show the name. So as I think this is what we're going to do here, and I'm going to go from the beginning. So I should have a full screen, Grant, do I?
You do now.
Awesome. So we're going to start off with the first award is going to, this was an opportunity that we had to have a couple of guys jump into the chat with us and try and have a little bit of an interview like we always do in the Car Guy Six Fan Show. And they are both up for the best dial-up internet. And Grant, why don't you explain why they're getting this award?
So our friends at S&R Motoring, Scott and Randall, you know, you guys probably hate me saying this. I've said it once before. I've said it many times before, actually. I'll say it again. But we always talk about the graduating class of fill in the blank on YouTube. You sometimes feel like you're coming up in the ranks at the same time with other channels. And S&R Motoring is definitely one of those channels that both Jason and I, we sort of like buddied up with, you know, from the early get-go. And when we had them on, so we were really excited to have them on because, again, we feel this camaraderie. We feel this like buddyship. And boy, did they just struggle with internet. And they were at two different houses, and it was like it was mostly, you know, it was mostly Scott, I think, or no, it was Randall's, because I always say Supra Randall is how I remember that. So he's the one with the Supra. It was mostly him, but then as soon as we'd get him on, then Scott's connection would drop. And so, yes, we are giving them the best dial-up internet of the year award.
And if I could have added sound effects, you'd know exactly what the sound effect would have been for this one. Why don't you start with this one, Grant?
Yeah, so then as we look back on all of our guests here, season 6, we were thinking of most likely to start a parody band. We had these two gentlemen on for a podcast. For some reason, we just the conversation kept directing towards just parody songs. I think it was I Can Only Count to 4 was the primary one that we talked about a lot. So Jason, why don't you tell us who wins most likely to start a parody band?
So the winners of this award, the most likely to start a parody band, are the Get Out and Drive crew. Sean, they're in the chat tonight, guys. Thanks for popping in here. I think some of the best conversations that we had with these guys was before we even went live, and they put us on to the I Can Only Count to 4 parody song of that song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. And if you don't know what that is, go it up on YouTube. I'm certainly not going to share it here, but nevertheless, it's a real funny video, and we had a lot of fun with it. So thanks, Sean and John, for being guests on the Car Guy Six Fan Show here in season 6. That brings us to the A Rose Between Two Thorns award. Now, if you guys remember back, this was the first time we ever had 3 guests on the show at any given time. And, you know, we had these 3 people. There was a husband and wife and father. And I think this gentleman is in the chat. So we want to officially give a Rose Between Two Thorns award to NIKKI-T, who is Rev's wife. We had the old man, NIKKI-T, and Rev on the show earlier from REVSTORATION. It was another great show there. We talked a little bit about the family and a little bit about what they're doing. And it was a lot of fun. I think we both can talk a little bit about how much fun we had with that show, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to have that dynamic, right? It's just the simple dynamic of having 3 people in a room at the same time. It's just kind of how they're ribbing each other while we're trying to conduct an interview. And then, you know, we also kind of get, you know, you pick up on that energy and that fun and that just that humor. And then how it challenges you and I to like, okay, well, how do we keep this show rolling when, because you don't want to interrupt that part either, you know. But no, really had a lot of fun with the old man, NIKKI-T, and Rev. But Jason, since you've tasked me with managing the chat, meanwhile, Dudes with Wrenches, thank you for the $2 super chat earlier. Did want to just make that known. So anyway, we'll head on to our next award, which would be the Queen of Carbs award. But that comes across wrong. It has nothing to do about her dietary situation. The fact that one of our guests, it's all about, she's all about carburetors, and so we felt like it was only appropriate that we gave the Queen of the Carburetors award to Liv Scafidi.
Liv Scafidi, yeah.
Take away, Jason.
I had a hard time. Yeah, I had a hard time trying to find something that was related to carburetors and queens, and nevertheless, this is what came up: Carb Queen. It was all about dietary supplements and exercise. That's not what I meant, Liv. I honestly, that had nothing to do with it. So that's why I kind of put the carb and then added the orator at the end. Anyways, we had a lot of fun with that show as well. It's always great to get somebody, especially get the ladies, be a part of the show, because they add such a dynamic to what it is that we do as guys. And she is learning a lot. She's just like us, you know. Every time we do something, we're hands-on. We're learning a little bit more, and she seems to be right there in the thick of things, not afraid to get her hands dirty as well.
And I'll take it a step further and say that, you know, self-admittedly, so Jason and I, we've been doing this long enough that I guess, truth be told, we kind of pride ourselves on not preparing for shows.
No.
And but so sometimes, like, we know of these other channels and we follow them on, you know, other social media outlets, and we know surface level about them. But sometimes, like, in the middle of the interview, like, you're really learning a lot. We're learning with you guys. Like, it's, you know, it's just people meeting people, right? And so you're finding out, just like, you're getting in deep sometimes with these guests. And Liv, I just look back on that, and I kind of feel like it was a lot like our interview with Ellie's Garage in season 5, where it's like, holy cow, like, I guess I didn't even know what we were getting into. Like, Liv was just a flat out, like, great interview. Like, just super easy to talk to, and just kind of didn't really know what we were getting into. And so we really appreciated our time with Liv.
Yeah, and like I said, the longer that we do this, the more that we go on. We do want to have that that different outlook on different things. So you want people who have experience in the car industry. You want people who are outside the car industry, who maybe they're advertisers or they're sponsors or something. We'll talk a little bit about that, of one of the fellows that we had as a guest who's getting an award here tonight as well. And that's why we do the show. We want to kind of expose you guys and ourselves to different dynamics of the automotive niche. We're going to move on to the next award, and this one is what I'm classifying as the 2021 Rookie of the Year award. The reason why I chose Rookie of the Year is because this guest was the one who has the most to gain. Was the easiest way of putting, had the lowest subscriber count. But nevertheless, we want to welcome and thank Build One More. David was there, and we had a lot of fun talking about his job and what he does for a living. And I know he's in the chat. I see him chatting back and forth there. I also see another super chat coming in from Everything Is Broken for some 3,000-pound ratchet straps to tie the garage down. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, we had Build One More on the show. This was one of the episodes where Grant was away, and we were lucky enough to have a Big Easy, Luke from Coastal Auto Reaction, as our co-host that night. So David, Build One More is getting the Rookie of the Year registration. I'm going to try after the show, guys, to make sure I have everybody's links in the description as well.
Yeah, very good. It's always nice to kind of recapture that. So the Hot Seat Award for 2021, Season 6. You know, normally when you hear the term hot seat, you think it was just someone that, you know, like a coach getting fired. It's like, you know what, they overstayed their welcome, and it just weren't pulling it off. It's like the seat was getting a little hot, and they had to get the hell out of it. Well, that has nothing to do with this award. This award actually has more to do with, it's most likely that our guest's seat was literally probably on fire. My chair's on fire. And that award goes to Waylon Wire's Old Iron. So if you guys didn't miss that, I mean, I think this goes down in the history books as probably one of the best all-time just interviews on Car Guy and Six Fan Show in our 6 seasons. I've been following WAYLON for a long time, Earlkin, and again, like, we kind of thought we knew what we were getting into with that interview, but man, that was just a blast. And we set the all-time record for people in the chat. I think we crested 150. Jason, what do you remember most from our time with Ken?
One of the biggest things was that I still am fairly new to his content, and the fact that a lot of the guys in the chat, including yourself, knew exactly who he was, knew what he was all about, knew a lot of his history. From me having that interview with him during that show, I already feel like I've known him for a long time, because he was just so easy to talk to, very friendly. And in fact, I still get a private message once in a while from him, just on something random, and it's like I've gained a long lost friend who I haven't talked to in years, but we literally just met on that show. So I think he's a wealth of knowledge. I think he's got a lot to offer the community, and he's just out there doing what he loves. And I think that tells a story of a lot of guys who are in the chat here tonight. I see another super chat come in there. I don't want to mess it totally. Hey, thanks, Zach, for $19.99. We appreciate that. And stay tuned, because we might have something coming up for you too. So yeah, right up there with Nick's Garage. If you wanted to sit there and let your guest tell a story all night, our live stream certainly could have been 3 or 4 hours long.
So our next award then would be the Fast Food Award, which is most likely to be eating during a live stream, and anything from Taco Bell to Kentucky Fried Chicken to Dairy Queen, or, as he so affectionately showed us, of course, that Whataburger bag last week, and that goes to Monster Rust. And so he told us before the show, like, self-admittedly, like, I guess I probably haven't been on enough of his live streams to have picked up on that. But he told us, he's like, everybody asked me, am I going to be eating during this live stream? So he said, I had to make sure I was eating during the live stream. So I actually think that's really cool, because, there's a book that, what is it? Video creators, the Tim Schmoyer group, they always talk about is primal branding. And they always talk about these things that you can definitely identify yourself about, like when you're doing this YouTube thing. So eating on a live stream is definitely Monster Rush thing. And I actually say, don't stop. Like, keep that a thing. That's actually kind of, that's what you're known by.
Yeah, and one of the big things was when I first got introduced to Eli was, he said, well, am I allowed to curse, stuff like that. And, I think Grant and I both kind of, I don't want to say we pride ourselves, but we try and keep our channels clean. We keep everything going on the up and up, so it's family friendly. And one of the things that we told him is, listen, just be you. If that's you, then be you. And I think the idea behind that was that we don't want anybody to change who they are just because they're on our show. We want you to be who you are, just like Waylon Wire and all of our guests that we've already talked about tonight. And when I was trying to do up this little award for him, I didn't want to focus on the fact that he was swearing on our live stream. It's no big deal. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of steered away from that, because we're not going to shun you or beat you over the head or whatever because of that. We want you to be you. If that's you, if that's what draws people in, and you're just being yourself, that's what we want to share with everybody else. The next award that we have here is for somebody who was in the chat earlier and give us a super chat. And he's actually got 2 awards coming to him. This is the first one. And I love this little meme that says, "But did you die?" He seems to be the guy that would be up for whatever. And that's what I put in there. If you said, you want to go racing, yeah, let's do that. Do you want to go mountain climbing? Yes. Do you want to go skydiving? He'd be in for it. And I think the idea that he's up for anything is what makes his channel going to be a success. And that's NARXOLEPTIC Customs. He's got the NARX cart. He's got a turbo C10. He's got a lot of different projects. He's also doing everything. He's hitting Rocky Mountain Race Week. He's doing all these different things. He's getting out there and he's having fun. But did you die?
Yeah, in some of the stories he told us about, of course, like just the experiences on Rocky Mountain Race Week what you kind of have to do to limp your car along sometimes. Definitely fits in with that. I did want to say to those in the chat, there's a couple checking out because they got to put the kids to bed. So I wanted to say thanks to S&R Motoring for stopping by, as well as Build One More. So thank you. Thanks to the both of you. Thanks for, I'm glad we were able to get your awards handed out at the front end of the show. But we'll keep moving on and head on to the next award, which would be the Land Yacht Award. And as you can see, this beautiful, I wanted to say Cadillac, but that looks more like maybe even a Pontiac. But a beauty in its own right. But this channel, what I really appreciate about this channel and this interview is, again, so when Jason and I do the scheduling, it's not like a surprise really kind of thing, but like we both go after our own like leads, and sometimes, you know, it's a channel Jason knows better than I do, or sometimes I know it better than Jason does. So this was definitely a new one for me, and I really appreciated how he's carved out this niche on YouTube for this certain era of cars, and he goes definitely Cadillac and Lincoln's kind of the same window, and so that's really cool because obviously it's the Ford and Chevy thing. But the Land Yacht Award goes to
Anthony GOZZO from Specialty Motor Cars. You guys know who he is. He brought quite a crowd. At the time he was a record-breaking attendance in the show. I think it was like 105 or something, wasn't it, Grant? And we had a lot of fun with that. Again, lots of stories, father, son, working it out. These guys aren't too far from me. If the borders, when the borders do open up, I'd like to get down there and spend some time with Anthony. Lots of great stuff. He's very detail oriented. He knows what to look for. He knows all the special tricks of each and every car that he goes searching for. And I think that's what makes his channel unique. He's kind of narrowed it down to a specific group of cars that he likes to go get. And if you watch his channel, you're going to see, you're going to see a lot of Cadillacs, Lincoln Town Cars, Mercury Grand Marquis, maybe a few outside that, but a lot of great stuff coming out of Specialty Motor Cars.
And I see the chat is mostly pointing towards Oldsmobile, which would be my gut reaction. It's just that center vertical thing on the grill that makes me think there's that Pontiac shield right down the middle. That seems like a very Pontiac thing to do.
It does, but if you look at the tail fins, it's almost reminiscent of Cadillacs. So there's like, I don't know, there's almost a few vehicles tied in there. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. It's really a Cadillac with someone other's grill. But I would love to set this one up, but since it's about the Old Car Guy Lookalike Award, Jason, I better hand it over to you.
Well, and I know King Eric is in the chat, and he's always commenting about this other YouTuber and myself. And fortunately enough, we're both Canadians. The unfortunate part is that we're so far away from each other. I think it would be great to spend some time with this next guest. But you all have made the comments about, are we brothers? Are we related? This or that. Other than the fact that we both wear glasses, we both have a beard and red hair. That's about it. But the award for the OCG lookalike goes to Roy Marco. And I reached out to Roy earlier this afternoon, and I asked him to snap a picture. And this is what he sent me back. So you guys can do the comparison all you want. My cartoon picture there, thankfully, shades out a lot of the gray, but nevertheless, this is what we've got to work today.
I love that. I love that he was able to bail out in a pinch. When I was previewing this before we put it up here tonight, I was like, where in the hell did Jason find this picture?
Right?
That pose. That makes a lot more sense now. So
yeah, sometimes you gotta let the cat out of the bag a little bit earlier to gain that surprise. Yeah. Anyways, I think we did it with this one here.
Very well done, Roy. So congratulations on that one. Those strong Canadian genetics.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
all right,
I'll let you set this next one up.
Yeah. So Well, Jason and I kind of went back and forth on how we would label this one exactly, but we settled on the Brutal Honesty Award, and it was this guest was not afraid to get on his soapbox, not once, not twice, not probably even 3 times, but I think 3, maybe 4
at the end of it.
And so we kind of, by the end of it, when Jason and I were kind of chatting afterwards, like, man, tell me how you really feel, is what we kept saying. And that award, so the Brutal Honesty Award goes to
Steve Darnell. Steve Darnell from Welder Up. You know, probably one of the, I don't know how to describe what type of guest he was. Maybe A-lister type guest on our show. And it was great to have him there. Very easy to talk to. And we had a lot of fun on that show. And I think a lot of people joined in and were very pleased. We were able to get such a high caliber guest. And we hope to have more of them in the future seasons of the Car Guy 6 Fan Show. And I think this particular episode stands out simply because of the fact that you know, Steve Darnell is you know, speak his mind, tell it like it is type of guy. And if you don't like it, who cares? So we were happy to have him on here. It was a great show. I think that a lot of personal opinion may have come across there, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, we got through it, and we were able to say we hosted a fairly substantial guest on the show.
I think, you know, Jason and I, we enjoyed it quite a bit. We didn't think we would take some left turns that many times. I think in a vacuum, we always kind of agreed, like, none of the opinions really bothered us by any stretch of the imagination. It was just, I guess, lesson learned for us. We looked back on it, and Steve was asking me beforehand, hey, what are we going to talk about tonight? And then when the show came and it went, it kind of like we reflected on, it's like, yeah, we didn't really get to talk about his builds that much. And it's like, maybe, I guess, if we would have like prepped him for that, maybe he would have stayed more talking about his builds and stuff. So, you know, point is, he made us better interviewers. We try to not set people up with questions ahead of time, because we feel like we get better candid responses. But, you know, hey, when we have someone of this high profile, I think in the future we might do a little more bullet points, at least, I will say.
Well, and one thing that I saw in the chat there, Uncle Bobo says everyone's entitled to their opinion, and absolutely, I'm not faulting him for that. We're just, you know, I think it just kind of sidestepped a little bit of what we were trying to accomplish with our interview. So, nevertheless, we got through it. We had a great time, and I think that you know, everybody that saw the show was very appreciative that we were able to get Steve on the show as well. But this one here was a little bit of a difficult one to try. And I mean, I had so many different names for this award. And I mean, if you guys grew up watching Hanna-Barbera, you'll know exactly who this dog is. This is Huckleberry Hound. And we wanted to try and spotlight something specific. And I just put my finger on it. And what I came up with was the Good Guy Award. And if you go back and you watch that episode that we had, and the winner of this award obviously is going to Zach Huckleberry, who goes by Huck or Totally Hucked on Instagram. He did throw in a $20 super chat. So thank you very much for that, Huck. I had no other way to describe you there, buddy, but other than the fact that you're a great down to earth guy. You welcomed us into your business where you worked there with open arms and showed us around, and we're very appreciative. And again, like I said before, it's always great to get somebody who may not necessarily be a YouTuber, but who's kind of part of the automotive niche in some fashion, to get them in and get their input. And of course, Zach works with Auto Metal Direct, AMD, and we were so happy to have him there, and he was a great guest, and I had a lot of fun with that. Congratulations, Zach, on your Good Guy Award.
And I know this was an award too that Jason and I went back and forth on, what do we name it? I was trying to I was trying to champion the "Don't Chuck It, Huck It" award, meaning because of Auto Metal Direct. Like, you know, we really appreciate what Auto Metal Direct does for the industry. You know, it helps a lot of us out when, we'll just say it this way, if trucks are expired, quote unquote, like, you know, having the replacement metal panels. And so we just definitely appreciate what Auto Metal Direct's meant to this industry, because it's another option. You know, it's not just, at one point in time, it kind of felt like a monopoly. And that, we'll say that outfit's not all that far from where I live. Another 3-letter combination. But so anyway, just wanted to say thanks again to AMD and what you mean to our automotive industry.
Yeah, and I'm kind of trying to watch the chat on my phone as well, and I see that Get Out and Drive has mentioned that he's hitting all the links that are being dropped in the chat, and that's why we asked Melissa to do that. Is some of you guys may not know, you know, who some of these other channels are, but go over, check them out. If it's something you enjoy or something that you're relating to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, we're trying to help everybody. We want to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity to get out and grow their channels. And part of this award show is bringing back to you guys some of the past guests that we've had. I'm going to set this one up a little bit, and just because you guys all know this meme, you know, Shia LaBeouf doing the "Just Do It" thing, and it went viral. And I wanted to call this one the "Just Do It" award. That kind of ties back into the previous award. That don't be afraid to do it, whatever it is. If it's you know, changing a career, or you know, jumping and going into business for yourself, or taking your Grand Marquis or Crown Vic and stripping it down and putting an exoskeleton around it. Just do it. This award is going out to Mike NARX from NARXOLEPTIC Customs. I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged him twice, because not only was he a guest on the show, but he also was a co-host when Grant was away. And the fact that he is out there just doing it, no matter what it is, he's having fun, and he's documenting everything from Rocky Mountain Race Week to, you know, special car shows and races, and you name it. He's trying to get the time off work, and he's trying to get out there and do that. So Mike, congratulations again on the Just Do It award. I hope you're still in the chat, being able to see what's going on. Anything that you want to add to this one, Grant?
Well, I think he's actually in the middle of his own live stream right now as well, and I think I'll take it a step further. The Just Do It award means he had no issues just stepping in when I was gone to be the co-host, and so that just speaks to his personality type of just, he's up for anything, and he'll just ask, he'll do it. So really, I'm sure if I really needed the shirt off his back, he would absolutely give it to me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melissa's put his link in there, so once our show is over, make sure you hit his. He's got a live stream going on right now, and I should have had an award in here for Melissa. You know that? I never thought about that at the end of it, but I'll take the opportunity right now to say thank you to Melissa for being a moderator, an extra set of hands, eyes, and ears in the chat, and sharing everybody's channels and Instagrams and merch and all that stuff out there.
Yeah, when you were talking about her on the last award, when we were talking about Hux, I was like, oh crap, we really missed an opportunity here. So yes, thank you, Melissa, as well. I mean, you're sort of, I don't want to come with one on the fly, because it'll probably come out wrong. But you certainly do keep us automotive YouTubers. It's not just our chats that you keep pumping out the links for. It's everybody's. I mean, we'll be on Coastal Auto Reactions live streams, and we'll see you over there. Just many other places. We have a pretty tight circle, of course, that we run around in here. But so it's, nobody's asked you to do it. You just do it. So maybe the Just Do It award is, well, you have to co-recipient, give it to Melissa Nunez. So
there you go. So again, I know I've set up the last two, but I do want to jump into this one here. You're not going to get it at first. So if you look at the meme, it says Elvis's 50 years 68 comeback special. I'm calling this one the Elvis Presley Award simply because you guys all know what it's like to see somebody go away, no matter what the opportunity or no matter what the case is, whether it's you know, something good or something bad. But you know, Luke has been through a lot over this last year, and I want to present the Elvis Presley comeback special award to Luke over at Coastal Auto Reaction. He's had some trouble, some health issues early in the year. I think he's got them behind him now, and I'm giving this award to him for a couple of reasons. One, he's turned out to be a close personal friend. We've grown friendship pretty good over the last year. He's also filled in for Grant a couple times on the show, and done a very good job, almost not completely overrunning the conversation. But nevertheless, I'm just kidding, Luke, but you know what I mean. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you being here. And I know Grant, I'll let him speak for himself. I know he appreciates you filling in for him as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Luke, I know it's when I know I have to miss a show, I always think long and hard about, like, man, who do I trust to keep the show running in a very similar fashion to the way it would be, you know, on a normal week. And so we know we're in good hands with you, just like Mike. You're a natural at it, so I really do appreciate it. I did want to personally thank you for being able to fill in for me when I was off in some weird country called Iceland. So Luke, thanks again for being able to do what you do, and we're happy to have you back on. You know, we're happy about the comeback. We're happy that you're back with us.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you guys look at what happened to Elvis when he did come back. You know, from '68 right up until the, you know, probably the mid '70s, he was really big and popular, and he you know, I don't want to make reference to Elvis's weight because he got fat again, but you know, Luke's channel, Coastal Auto Reaction, him and Uncle Bobo and Jake, like, these guys are going places. If you follow their Instagram, you'll see that they got all kinds of things on the go. They're able to travel again. Luke's health is doing so well that I can see a lot of the things, and I know a lot of the things they're doing behind the scenes you guys don't know about yet. The Coastal Auto Reaction is going places. It's going to be a huge comeback, and you guys aren't going to be disappointed with what you see over there on that channel. So again, these links are being dropped in the chat. Make sure you go over and head and see Coastal Auto Reaction. If you're not yet subscribed, you're probably going to want to do so.
And Jason turns to the next award. I was just going to say, it's not only is it a comeback from Coastal Auto Reaction, it's something that they're building to be bigger and better than ever. So that's what's exciting about it as well. It's not just a comeback, it's a graduation, really. So Jason, why don't you take it away here?
Yeah, no, you know, this is something that you know, Grant and I usually will do something funny for each other back and forth as far as an award goes, but I thought I would take this one a little bit on the high road. And so for the user who has brought his content back to his roots, obviously Straight Six Fan makes reference to his inline six in his '95 F-150 that he had out of high school and into college. Recently, if you follow his channel, he's bought that truck back. So he's doing a lot of content with it. You're going to start to see some great inline 306 content out of that project. And I think it's great that he's kind of, you know, come full circle, so to speak, back to his roots with his namesake and the vehicle that actually started it all. So Grant, congratulations on the Roots Award for bringing your channel back to the Straight Six Fan aspect of what your channel really is kind of all about.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a blessing. Like, it's something that was way out of my control, you know, and it fell in my lap. And so it's really cool as I do this YouTube journey, which is, see, it's March of 2015 when I put my first video up. So, like, what's that? It's going to be going on 7 years come this next March. And to be able to go full circle with the story and to really prove it, to have it back in my possession, it really is something else. And it's going to be a part of my channel moving forward too. We've got some big plans, I guess you'll say. But yeah, it's let's put it this way. Uncle Tony's Garage showed up in the chat, and he's all about building the slant sixes. I'm going to build a Ford 300 that will put your slant sixes to shame.
Yeah, we'll see about that, right?
Yeah.
So I did see back at the beginning when Uncle Tony jumped in there, he's asking about his award. So Tony, if you go back to season 5, we had him on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. So if you go back to our season 5 award show, the second annual, you will see actually that you won an award in there. I forget what it was, but go back and you can take a look and see for yourself that you actually did win something. And yes, I know we have your mailing address, but unfortunately it wasn't that kind of an award. So that's it for the awards, Grant, unless you have anything more that you want to add to that.
Well, since I slacked on the job and didn't actually prepare an award for you, Jason, I'm just going to take an award you made and reciprocate it and flip it on its end and give you the best Roy Marco's Garage Lookalike award goes to you. So,
how'd I do?
Very good.
Yeah, that was fun, guys. And again, like we said before at the beginning of the show, one of the biggest things that we look forward to each season is being able to do this, because we do have some fun. And when we do season 7, I think that we'll be throwing in another award show at the end of that as well. So it's been fun, and I can't believe that it's been 3 years that we've been doing the Car Guy and Six Fan Show, Grant. I think it's great that you've been able to put up with me. I think for this long.
Well, if we're being honest here, right? Like when it started, it was so we both could get to 1,000, and now I'm riding your coattails at this point as you're triple my size. So I'd be an idiot to not put up with you, Jason.
Yeah. What's they say? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Is that the saying or something like that?
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bad analogy.
I do have 2 things though I wanna fit in here, and before we start talking about maybe future content to anticipate on our channels. And yes, SNR have a question. So first off, Monster Rust will be doing an after party over on his channel, so go hang out over there if you want to keep the conversation going. But we do usually open it up for questions in the chat, and so if you guys have anything, what I wanted to just throw out there for the chat is that if you guys have any suggestions for the Car Guy and Six Fan Show, things you want to see in season 7, this isn't the last episode, so if you want to bring that next week, that's fine too. Throw that in the chat. Or the other thing, almost like as a live poll, what I'm curious of is Jason and I made a conscious effort to have even more interviews here in season 6 than we typically would. Do you guys like these legacy episodes, or do you want to see like as many interviews as possible? Did you feel like season 6? Maybe some of you didn't even notice. So just curious to hear your feedback. Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys want to kind of put that into the chat and let us know if you like seeing the episodes where it's just Grant and I talking about something different, or if it's you like to see the interviews, you like to see the different guests come and go, big and small. I want to answer SNR Motoring's question here now. He's asking if they can advertise ourselves now as award-winning SNR Motoring. Absolutely. It's funny because I was talking to an advertiser. Oh, this is years ago, back when we first started selling cars. And she says, well, what if we called you guys the #1 selling dealer in your county? And I'm like, oh, I don't think we are. And no one's ever given us the #1. Well, she says, well, I think you're #1. And I said, and my dad was standing there too. And she says, well, Gordon, don't you think you're #1 too? And Dad says, yeah. And I said, you know what? Come to think of it, I think I'm #1 too. So from that point on, we started advertising the #1 dealer in Charlotte County. So yes, you can go ahead and you can use that award-winning just because Grant and I said so.
So it looks like for the most part, I guess what I'm seeing here from the chat is almost don't change the formula too much. But Luke over at the Coastal Auto Reaction did ask if we could see Igor get interviewed, maybe in season 7.
Yep, we probably could, because the whole time we've been doing the Car Guy and Six Fan Show, I'm proud to say that I have not had to get a guest host or co-host to replace myself because I'm always here. I'm the constant here. So maybe I'll just take a night off, and maybe Igor can fill in for an. Who knows?
Yeah, and we'll tell him, you know, just be himself, so don't worry about the cussing. But we might not get off the Yugo topic. That guy.
You may not, because we know how much he hates that piece of sheet. I did see a super chat come in from George. Thank you so much, George. We appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you do to help with our community. And George was a recipient of an award last season as well. No, the season before, because we had him on season 1, right. I believe. Yeah, and then we had
season 4.
Or sorry, season 4, and then we had Nick on season 5. Yep. So the Bandit says he wants to see more of the truck. Yes, you'll get to see more of the truck soon, because we do still have a lot to do with that. Left for Dead Garage says he likes the interviews, and I think Totally Hucked says that he likes them both, being able to see a little bit of everything. What else are we missing here? Anything else?
There was Bandit had another question earlier. It was just about the Yugo. Wanted to just know like what's going on there.
Oh, I guess this can kind of lead into what's upcoming on each of our channels. So I guess I'll start with this one to say, with the garage build and work, it's really hard to get some content going. So I'm taking tomorrow off, and a buddy of mine, we're going to try and get the metal roof on the garage. Once we've got that done, I can start getting the siding on, and it all takes time. And we've been trying to deal with weather as well, not so much the cold and not so much the rain. The last 3 days, it's been like super windy. And with the garage not 100% totally braced and secured yet, we come out that first morning, and one end of the wall was leaning, and I seriously thought we were going to lose it. So we ended up spending a part of the day just getting it strapped. If you saw my TikTok and my YouTube short, we've got Grandma, we've got my shop truck, and we've got an old caravan out in the field, strapped down, holding this thing in place so it doesn't go anywhere. Until tomorrow, we can get up there and finish getting it strapped up and braced, permanent bracing, and then we can start laying some roof on that. So there's not been a whole lot of content as far as the Yugo goes. It's just sitting over there. I did get my new my stud conversions and my longer, or my wheel nuts. We need a place to do it. All my spare time is consumed on the garage right now. So Grant, is there anything else that you have that you want to share about upcoming videos?
Yeah, for sure. And in the meantime, if you want to go fishing for Monster Rust's last comment, we'll try to answer that question too before we shut things down. More truck content coming up. And honestly, when I say that, that's a little misleading, because it won't be my F-150 this week. All things considered, I should be working on my Toyota Tacoma this coming weekend. So next week's episode should be about my Tacoma, I do believe. So we're going to try to put a cold air intake on the thing after I lifted it and put big tires on it. My new commute to my new job has a little bit of hill work that it just doesn't like being in overdrive going up the hill. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit power back that can just make that kind of go away. We'll see. I don't expect it to, but we'll see.
And a couple more super chats come in there. We got Roy Marco sent $5. Thank you very much, Roy. You didn't have to pay for your award. I was going to do it for free. And Uncle Bobo sent over $14, some fuel for Dale. He's got fuel. He had fuel. He was getting too much fuel. Leave me alone about that. Holy. I'm not sure if this is the comment you were mentioning about having the channels and collaborations. So I think it would be great. The problem with me being in Canada is that collaborating physically with a channel in the US I can't do it I can't go to the States. In Canada, it's great. In fact, I think Everything is Broken Garage is in the chat still, and him and I are going to be doing a collab here probably in the new year, hopefully. He can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But we are talking about working with that, as well as working with an event for something in Eastern Canada. So stay tuned for that as well.
I think personally for myself, so Steve Darnell, because I did take his Welder 101 course, his online welding course, he did actually personally invite me next time I'm in Vegas to come to a shop to weld with him, which I think could be pretty freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
And I certainly, you know, when the time is right, I think I will take him up on that. But honestly, if I had to pick from all of our interviews this season, if there was one collaboration I could do or have, our buddy Waylon, or old Kin from Waylon Wire's Old Iron, he did talk about driving his Impala cross country, and he would definitely come through Kansas. And I'd love to walk him through our mutual friend, Jason and I's mutual friend, Chad from Nobody's Show here on YouTube, and walk him through his old iron yard. I think that would just be a fun afternoon with the three of us. And I mean, ideally, Jason, if you could make it to Kansas at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think I could, you know, the stories that could be told, but that would just be like an epic outing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna go I'm gonna again take the high road here, but I'm also gonna gain brownie points. I'm also gonna show you up one and tell you who I think would be a great one. And you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit. Was you and I collaborate every Thursday for the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. We've never met in person. We've never been able to spend any time actually filming or working together on a video project. And I mean, after doing this show for 3 years, I mean, COVID's kind of thrown a great big loop into things as far as travel, but I do ultimately think that would be my ultimate collaboration, is to finally get to meet you in person and do something, maybe help you get that carburetor looked after, or the brakes, or something. Just put a video together. Put a video together that, you know, that we both could work on, and just do something together, because, you know, other than being able to do this show virtually, it's just not the same thing. So I think ultimately the idea would be to do a physical collaboration, whether it be in Kansas or here or somewhere in the middle. I think it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, I think, I don't know why when you said that, I do picture me being in your dealership shop working on something together. Like, I don't know why, but that just seems like the right place to do it for sure.
Yep. Let's see here. Just checking through the chat. NB, that's a 4-day drive. Well, Mongrel's Garage. Yeah, unless you're way out west. We're doing burnouts in Jason's parking lot. Yes. All the Canadian guys should meet up in New Brunswick somewhere. Hey, you never know. I'm actually heading to Montreal in the spring, because I think Luke and Bob are coming down to pick up their motor from Nick's garage, and I think I'm going to meet them there. And they might follow me back here to do some collab work here in New Brunswick too. So I think that's all I got for tonight. We're coming close to an hour.
Yeah. That well, I did see in the chat too. Nick's Garage said the People's Choice Award for the Best Award Show award goes to, I believe he meant us. So we appreciate that you guys say such kind things about us. So, you know, Jason and I will continue to try to do what we do, and you know, build this community and give you guys a good outlet, place to hang out on Thursday nights. So we've enjoyed it definitely here for the three years, the 6 seasons we've been doing it. We do have one more show left here for season 6. So make sure that if you haven't picked it up by now, this is a joint collaboration. So we do alternate channels. Next week, it is on my channel. So 7 p.m. Central, we'll close out season 6, year 3, with a kind of year-end review.
Yeah, and don't forget NARXOLEPTIC Customs. If Melissa's still there, maybe you can pop his channel in the chat one more time. Is doing a live. Head on over there. Great interviews. You can take a look and see why he gets the awards that he's won here tonight. Having said all that, Grant, go ahead and close us out. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you next week over on Grant's channel.
That's going to do it for this week's Car Guy and Six Fan Show. So I just wanted to say to all my Six fans out there, thanks for watching.